Peace and blessings, everyone. I hope that you are all well and walking in much love and E-Ray. And if you choose to celebrate the new year at this time of the year, Happy New Year to you. I hope your goals are in order and your vision is clear. So I was asked a question that inspired this, and shout out to the person that asked me this. And because you gave me something to think about, and I love to think. So the question can spirits become confused? Can spirits be confused? And after much thought and reflection, it is my opinion that they cannot be confused. Spirits cannot be confused. And the reason I feel this way is because spirits themselves operate on an alignment of clarity. And that extends beyond human emotion, right? And because they have this benefit to operate on such a frequency that extends beyond human emotion, they are able to see things clearly and see the truth in the heart of the matter in the situation, even when we cannot, even when we are distorted. As a matter of fact, that is the very reason a lot of us get divination and seek out spiritual counsel, because sometimes we don't have the benefits of seeing beyond our feelings. That's a big one. That's something that I see frequently, right? And to me, because of this human emotion, because our minds do have the ability to become distorted, cluttered, so on and so forth, our perception is what may influence the messages that we get from spirit, right? How? Once again, human emotion, stress, denial, resistance, reluctance to certain truths. All these things can help to influence the messages, our perception, the way we perceive things as it relates to spiritual guidance and communication. So this is my belief. This is why I believe that spirits, they can become confused. Now, off topic a little bit, there are some low vibrational spirits there that can cause confusion to the person, that can mentally distort you. That's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But however, yes, they can cause the person to become confused, right? They do have that ability. Once again, low level negative spirits can cause mental torture, distress, so on and so forth. But however, when we divine, I would say a lot of us, I won't say majority, but a lot of us tend to try to tap into spirits that are much higher, that are on a higher elevated plane than we are for that spiritual guidance. The same way you would do to someone here on earth. You want to seek out with someone with wisdom, who lived a virtuous life, someone that is trustworthy, so on and so forth. That was another point that I wanted to make. So no, it doesn't necessarily mean that the reader or the reading was wrong or the spirits was wrong, but to me it rather highlights the emotional state of the person or their perception. What do I mean by that? Once again, denial. If they were stressed out, if they were mentally overwhelmed, they're really not. A reading is usually a lot to take in. So what I've learned and what I've watched in other people is that usually in hindsight, they get the most out of those messages as life continues on after that reading, after they go through some things. Remember, spirits can see miles ahead of us, right? So some of the things that they may speak of or speak on, we have yet to experience it. And that can also influence the way we perceive the messages, yes, they can also influence the way we receive those messages, because they have yet to pass. They have not happened. So we might think, oh no, they can't be talking about me. I haven't went through that. However, 2-3 months down the line, or even days, boom, it happens, right? So that's another point that I wanted to make. With those few points that I made, which we can go beyond that, but for the sake of the timeliness, I want to keep it short and sweet. How can you best prepare for a reading so you can get the most relevant messages that you need? in a state where you can actually receive it and understand it. I would say number one, open mind. Start preparing yourself for readings. If you know that you're getting ready to have a divination, you know you tend to be a little bit overwhelmed with stress or anxiety. Sometimes we're even nervous. Once again, that human emotion influencing our perception. Do things to calm the nervous system. Mindfulness practices, meditation, maybe yoga, things that ground and center yourself. Go have a conversation with your ancestors ahead of time. Let them know that you're getting ready to have this divination session. Ask them to bless the person as well and receive that person that's going to be the medium for that person to receive that information so that they can receive it accurately and in a way that in a way in which that it pleases their ancestors as well. You can always make sure that you're taking your spiritual baths, removing any negativity off you that may influence your perception. Wash your aura. If you need a head rogation, things to calm the mind down, bring coolness and peace to the mind, you can always do that as well. Spiritual head wash, whatever you can do, to support your mental health physically and spiritually. Both heads, and I would say that as well. Make sure that you're in a quiet and peaceful place. That's another thing. Some of us may be in noisy environments when we get our reading, and sometimes we could even simply just misinterpret because we just didn't hear them right. So you want to also make sure your space is cultivated. If you have to burn some incense, if you have to play some calming music before that reading takes place, you can also set that tone as well. And I think that's about it, guys, that I had written down. But yes, no, it is not my belief that spirits can become confused. I believe that our emotions can influence our perception, rather. So that's my take on it. Thanks again for asking me that. And I hope that you guys all continue to be blessed and prepare yourself for your readings and trust your spirits. One thing I've learned over time from reading people, I get the best readings from people who have taken the time to build that solid foundation, that solid connection that they have curated over time with their ancestors, because they have more faith in their messages. They have more gratitude for their communication. So regardless if the news is what they want to hear or not, they appreciate it because they understand that it is all for their better development. I am the type that I honestly do not believe there's a such thing as a bad reading. All readings serve to be informative. It helps us to see things miles ahead, things that we may not have seen coming, and thus we are able to avoid tragedy, travesty, sadness, loss, illness, and the list goes on. So I appreciate any reading that I have. I come in gratitude, and that is another thing that can also set the tone for a very successful reading, that you will walk away from feeling spiritually full and at peace. So that's it, guys. Love you all. Peace and blessings. Ashe.